Back again, baby. Here we are. I don't even
Back
know what
with
number
less than
episode. It's getting worse and worse each week, baby.
It's the holidays, all right? And other shit to worry about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I've worn the sweater like 5 times now. Don't care. You know,
I know.
gotta keep
You're
it
like,
comfortable.
Just try. I feel like every December I'm like, oh yeah, the holidays, Christmas spirit, see the lights, and then I'm like, God, just got to get through this month, dude.
And then it all starts over again. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Well,
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Christmas guy. I get in the holiday spirit, you know. But the one thing I'm trying to get away from is this Christmas tree thing. I'm over it. I'm done.
I just got my first tree for the first time in like 5 years, dude.
Yeah, I'm over it, dude. They're $100. They stink
Oh, you're doing
up
like
the
the real
house.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't even. I have a horrible experience with that. I
Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
I forget. So my mom wanted to get a real tree one year. I think I was in college or something, dude. And it was like, it just turned into this shit show, dude. Trees not cut right. The
Yeah.
things she always gets the cheap ass metal one, dude.
Yeah.
With the legs that like slide in or whatever. Instead of like the nice plastic one or whatever, where it just kind of hooks it all in.
Sits in,
It
yeah.
was terrible. I'm sitting there sawing a tree. It's fucking shit's everywhere. Trees all fucked up. I'm like, never again. And I have not gotten a real tree since. And then all the needles. The best part about getting a real tree is if you have a house in a yard, you could just set the motherfucker on fire.
On fire after. Yep. See, so last year, when we got it all set up or whatever, we had to go buy one of those plastic like bin things, I'm talking about, where you hook it in like you're talking about, because the one we have tile at the house, so you can't use that metal piece, it's just gonna scratch up the tile. So anyways, we waited till the last second. We finally get the tree. Like I said, it's $100 to get this tree that we're gonna have for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get like a fake tree, but it's not happening.
But it smells good. It's like, fuck
exactly.
you.
It doesn't even smell good. It smells like you're outside, which is, I can just go outside if I want to smell like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Also, the dogs fucking are gonna pee on it, and they're gonna chew on shit, and they're gonna fucking climb around, and you can't put presents down. We have a puppy in the house. You can't put the presents down. He's gonna chew through it. You know what I mean? So it's pointless.
Well, you can be like, yo, my present was this fucking tree. Go fuck
yeah, Merry fucking Christmas. But yeah, so, and also it's such a scam, bro. You go to these places and they're like, yeah, that one's $129. It's like, why? Well, it's a tree. Why is it $129? I was like, when I was a kid, these were $30. You know what I mean? Like,
in Colorado, you can get a permit and go cut your own tree down.
Yeah, shit. That might be.
It might be fucking expensive.
I'm about to say it might be cheaper for me to drive out to fucking Colorado and cut a tree down and bring it back. You know what I mean? $129 over here. I mean, Jesus. Also, you reminded me of a story when we were a kid, right? Like my mom and dad, they had a bunch of kids. We have a huge family. I was the oldest. So at one point I was like, 10 years old, and they had 3 young kids in the house. You know what I mean? So times were tight, you know what I'm saying, financially. And my parents scraped together money to get this Christmas. We weren't going to have a Christmas tree this year, and somehow they scraped together some money. Like, all right, let's go get this Christmas tree. And my dad had this truck, right, this red truck, and we go get the Christmas tree, me and him, and it was exciting because we thought we weren't going to have a tree, and then we were getting the tree. So we get the tree, we put it in the back of the truck, and we're driving down the road, and it's at night, it's dark out, and I'm like, I see in his rearview mirror these lights are like flashing behind us, like a cop or something. And I look, what happened was the tree fell out of the back and cars were swerving out of the way to not hit it. Yeah. So me and my dad went back and we found it. There was just like one branch left of the fucking tree. So,
dude, fuck those real ones.
Yeah. All right, let's hop right into it. Guys, thanks again for everybody that's followed. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at @scam_podcast. Follow us on Twitch, @scam_podcast. We really do appreciate it. It's a huge help to us. It can help you stay up to date with the show. Follow, like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, 2 words Scam Podcast. If you're listening to the audio only, come follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a huge help to us. Thank you for all the downloads again. Another great download weekend. But before we get in these emails, which if you'd like to email us like these lovely people did, you can email us at podcastscam@gmail.com. But before we do that, Malcolm, there's some breaking news that I want to discuss that is blowing my mind right now. So, because of all the COVID shit going on with the NFL right now, there's a game on. It's Tuesday night recording. There's a game on right now.
Cowboys,
Cowboys Ravens are playing right now, right? So check this out. Big game. for the Ravens, they're sputtering a little bit. They didn't have Lamar Jackson last week against the Steelers. Now he's back. They're 6-5, big game, right? But the big story here, well, not a big story, but an interesting story. Dez Bryant's return to play the Cowboys.
Dude,
His
when
first game,
did he come back to? I seen him in there like 2 weeks ago. Like,
Yeah.
Dez Bryant.
Yeah, he's on the Ravens, and he's been okay. He's looked all right in the time he's been out there.
He looks like he's in shape.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. He looks capable. He doesn't look like busted. He looks capable.
Mhm.
So interesting. Big game tonight. They're playing the Cowboys. He's gonna maybe get some revenge. We're gonna see Dez
This
Bryant
is on
in the end zone.
ESPN or
It's on Fox. But check this out, right? 20 minutes before kickoff, your boy Dez Bryant tweets out. This is his tweet from Dez Bryant. Tell me why they pull me from the warming up so I can go get tested. My shit come back positive. I tested positive for COVID. What the fuck? And then his next tweet was, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a quit for the rest of the season. I can't deal with this. But this is what's blowing my mind. They've been canceling and rescheduling games because of the possibility of someone having COVID. A dude that was warming up on the field with the team all day, test positive for COVID, game on. Let's do this. Like, what? It makes no sense. Like, there has to be some accountability. If you're just going to play through it and you don't fucking care, like, deal with it, whatever happens, which is a possibility, which they may have to do, that's fine. But be honest about it. You can't reschedule these games and then have this happen and be like, well, we got to play it. Like, you're either being safe or you're not. You know, and either's fine, but that's your choice.
Yeah. I mean, you could just be like, yo, these are, superb human beings. All right. Nobody's going to die. Maybe the fat guys will die. Maybe. But
that's what I said in preseason when we talked about this. I was like, the only issue I would have for NBA, I don't think any of them are going to have any issues. Baseball, I can see maybe some of those guys are overweight and some of them are, have some differing health issues and health concerns. They don't treat their body great. NFL, most of those guys are going to be fine. But some of those linemen already have breathing issues, because of the fact of how big they are. So that's a little tricky. But and again, if you want to be like, hey, look, play at your own risk. If you don't feel comfortable, don't play. But we're going to try to finish the season. You're high risk. It's a high risk. But you know what? You play through it. The owners are going to respect it. Maybe you get a big contract in the offseason. Who knows, right? But you can't pretend like you're being safe for these players and have this happen today. The dude tests positive warming up.
I don't know. I heard that's the rapid test, right?
Yeah. It has to be. If you got it back right away, it has to be the unreliable rapid testing or whatever. Which though they did get rid of that. The NFL stopped using that, so I don't know how they tested it so quickly. There is another form of like the quick return testing where they do the nose swab, but that one they said is like it just kind of if you have any kind of flu, it's gonna flag for COVID. You know what I mean? That's like just to be safe. Like all right, you have something, don't play. So maybe that's what he got. I don't know. Who knows?
You can't tell me these COVID tests are like, dude, they do drug testing and steroid testing all the time and DNA testing and shit gets contaminated with that. And they've been doing it for 10, 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that all these tests are not contaminated. They're doing them in a fucking drive-through.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe it was one of those tests where it's like you flagged for something. So let's just be safe. But I don't know. If they were being honest with themselves and they were saying, hey, we're doing what's safest for the players, they wouldn't have played tonight. But who really, whatever. It's
what's funny is the NFL would be like, fuck it. But that corporate liability shield that Mitch McConnell's trying to get, I bet you if that was in place, they'd be like, game on, baby.
Yeah.
They don't want motherfuckers with actual lawyers trying to sue them.
It's interesting with this whole COVID thing because, the vaccine is coming. It's already out in UK, but it seems like the perfect time because right now we're having the worst month that we've had with COVID around the world. And for the first time, deaths are going up now.
Any of it. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know anything.
It's bad. They had 1 million new tests in a week or 1 million new positive tests in the past week. And deaths have almost doubled in the past 8 days. So things are going, but I mean, that's just common sense. If a ton more people have it, more people are going to die.
More for me and you, right?
All right, let's get enough of that. I just thought that was interesting. Like, oh yeah, this guy might have had it. He might have been around all these other guys, and they might have it too. But game on, baby. Let's play some football.
I want to. So the first gentleman in Colorado's got COVID.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
first gentleman,
dude. This
what
shit
a
was
dream
going
job.
across my news feed for like 4 days. On who the fuck is what is the first gentleman, dude? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, he's gay. I was like, I didn't even because I've never seen it.
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could have been like a woman was the governor and her husband would be the first gentleman.
No, Jared Polis is gay for sure.
Okay, so
I just
that's
never
interesting.
thought of it. I'm like, first gentleman. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
You got two
And I was like,
gentlemen
oh,
in
that's
the state
right.
house.
Yeah. You know what I watched last night? Big Daddy.
Good movie.
Great movie.
Underrated
Good
movie.
Yeah, there's a I guess Adam Sandler was ahead of his time. He's like, there's a point, like very big, like you watch it again, you pick up on other stuff you didn't see, like especially when movies when you were a kid. You're like, what the, like that whole Ace Ventura thing is like, what the fuck? Talking about it's about him making out with a fucking transgender. Whatever.
Yeah.
What
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Yeah, you're just
Finkel's
like,
a man.
That
he's
whole
throwing up.
He's
shoving all that gum in his mouth.
And shit. Like,
he's like, he's using the plunger on his mouth to try to.
Yeah, that would not be acceptable nowadays.
No.
But there's a part where you got like the two dudes make out, and there's that the guy with the wonky eyes that's always in the Sandler movies. Just, like, looking at him like, what the fuck? And Sandler goes, what are you doing later tonight? You going to a clan meeting or what? It's a good line.
Well, it's interesting because the two guys that are gay in Big Daddy are the two guys from Grandma's Boy, the main character, and then the Dante, the guy.
Dante,
yeah, they're the two gay guys in that movie. And then Jon Stewart is in Big Daddy, which is also weird
Jon
casting.
Stewart.
Yeah, he's also terrible in it. I remember even as a kid being like, "Is this guy an actor or what's going on here?"
Tell you what, that girlfriend that Sandler breaks up with and she's dating the old guy, she's pretty hot.
Yeah, the old guy, and then at the end, like he's working at Hooters. He's like
Sid.
the cook.
Yeah, Sid. Must be a 10-year plan. Good flick.
All right. Yeah, great flick. So let's get into these emails. Again, if you want to email us, podcastscam@gmail.com. We do appreciate all the emails we got from you guys. Let me double check real
27.
quick.
Is Ray Rice back too?
They're like, fuck it. We need to fill out the roster. Let me double check though, make sure we don't have any new emails since last I logged in. I wouldn't expect it. I did. Okay, yeah, we are good to go. Here's the first one. It says, you guys seem to watch a lot of movies and TV. Who do you think is the best villain of all time? Doesn't have to be a specific TV show or a movie. Just want a character that you think is the best bad guy.
Is there any way for it not to be a specific movie or TV show?
I took that as, like, if you pick the Joker, it's not like Heath Ledger's Joker from that movie. You know what I mean? It's just the Joker, the character. You know what I mean?
What's your criteria for a good bad guy?
I don't know, but I think the Joker, I mean, he's pretty good, but
the Heath Ledger one, yeah, he's a great bad guy.
I mean, just the character of the Joker's, it was ahead of its time. You know, it was like the 40s when the Joker was first popping up. So I mean, that's a good one. But I don't know, best bad guy. The Die Hard bad guy was good just because it was such good acting by that guy that just died. I forget his name.
I just watched Bloodsport. So how about that Chinese guy? I'll break you. No, that's Rocky. Whatever he says, he's off. He's holding that dude's bandana.
Yeah, we were talking about. You were sending me some clips from Bloodsport. Like it's one of those movies. It's so bad, but it's fun to watch. You know what I mean?
It's a great movie. It's great. That part where they're just kicking the shit out of each other in the ribs. It's like a solid 15 seconds. It's like, oh yeah, bam, bam. It's all the fake noises and shit. It's great.
Then we were talking about it was because the stunt coordinator was like, I think John Claude broke his hand. We're just going to do a scene where you guys just kick each other in the ribs. How's that sound?
There's a lot of climax moments in the fights where people just punch each other in the balls, and it's supposed to be like...
Yeah, the end of the fight, like you're dead. Yeah, like he does the split, right? He punches the guy in the balls. It's just like, all right. That seemed like a lot of work for some guy just be like, dude, what the fuck? Why'd you do that?
I'll tell you what, age as well, though. John Claude Van Damme doing that split in those fucking chairs, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he's still in like amazing shape, but some of those stunts he was doing back then were definitely ahead of its time. As far as best bad guy, I guess the Joker. I don't know. Thanos is pretty cool. I'm just thinking comic books. I can't even think of like straight out of a movie bad guy villain. Maybe we'll do some more thinking on this and give you a better answer next week. So
yeah, I'm trying to go through like my favorite movies, and yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of good performances where like the actor that plays the bad guy does good, but I mean, like as far as like the character, I mean, I guess it'd have to be a comic book because those are the ones that you've seen over and over
Or
again.
even
I
just
don't
a
know.
villain, like even like since I watched the Sandler movie, like Happy Gilmore, Shooter McGavin.
Yeah. Oh, Shooter McGavin's a good one.
Yeah,
Shooter McGavin, you know, he's a good one.
yeah.
He's a good one. That's a good pull right
No,
there. Price is wrong, Bob. No, he says, God, I wish I could remember it verbatim, but he says, the guy that like the tall guys calls him Lurch or something. I don't remember. He has the nail in his head. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah,
lot.
McGavin.
Yeah.
Like I eat a piece of shit like you for breakfast.
You piece of shit for
Piece of
breakfast?
shit
No.
All right, on to the next one. So we got another sex story email.
Nice.
So this one is from, we'll save it for the end. I'll just read it and we'll do that at the end. It says, I can't stop laughing at all these insane sex stories you guys have had emailed in. And I figured I had to share mine. It's not as ridiculous as some of those other stories I've heard, but I dated a guy that was obsessed with me wearing lingerie. And when I say obsessed, and when I say obsessed, I'm not exaggerating. Every birthday, every Christmas, he got me lingerie as a gift. He insisted on me wearing it every time we got intimate. And it didn't really bother me. It was fun to get the attention and feel sexy. But once we went on a ski trip, and since we were going somewhere cold, my suitcase was packed with jackets, pants, and boots, and I didn't pack or even think to pack any lingerie. He was pissed. Said it ruined the trip for him because I wasn't thinking of him or some shit. Fortunately, this was just a minor fight, and we did end up breaking up a while later, but it was unrelated. I got a job overseas and was not going to ask him to move with me. Thanks for letting me share this story. I really enjoy hearing these stories from people and hope this one wasn't too boring. Kate from Germany. So,
I mean, it sounds like he was buying lingerie for special occasions, which
yeah,
lingerie is for.
yeah. I again, there's a difference between being like, let's spice it up a little bit and being like, put this on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I see it being
with some lingerie.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but you know, if that's what you're into, that's a harmless one. I feel like it's just
Yeah.
it's just one of those you could probably get tired
Try
of.
learning a bunch of magic tricks and it's not working out.
That would still all timer. That would still an all timer. But yeah, I think that
Things to do with the wand. Fucking so when
abracadabra.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's at
So-
the end though, right?
Yeah, I think this is harmless. I think that you know it's just one of those things you can get tired of and bored with. You know what I mean? It's like I gotta strap this shit on again and fucking zip up these laces. Like whatever, dude. I don't want to
Yeah.
do this anymore.
It's like living, in Colorado. Every time you go outside, you gotta fucking dress up. That's the
Yeah.
annoying part about being in the cold.
Yep.
Florida, you just like throw your flip flops on until you're done.
Well, I was talking to somebody about this today. Like it's in the 30s and 40s here, and we talked about this
That's
before,
cold
but
for Florida, boy.
it is. I was gonna say it in Florida. You know, like last November, I was in Boston in November. It was 19 degrees, and I had like a jacket and jeans on. I was fine. 19.
Yeah.
Here it was 30 degrees right now. I walked outside and I felt like I was about to pass out from when the cold hit me in the face. You know what I mean? It's a
Oh,
different kind
yeah.
of cold.
Bone chilling.
So, all right. Thank you, Kate. Let's on to the next one. All right. So this one's going to kind of go into some of the stuff we're going to talk about a little bit later. But he sent me an email, and then he asked us a question, and then he immediately, like 10 minutes later, sent another one with a follow-up question. So his first question was, okay, you guys have been talking about aliens, but what about Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot real? Is he an
No.
alien? I feel like nothing is off the table nowadays. And the second part of the question, when he emailed again, said, also, I want to know if you guys have ever had any supernatural experiences like Bigfoot/aliens or anything that you just can't explain.
No, I want it, but I think that's why I haven't had it. It's 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
true.
I'm looking for it, but I don't want it so bad to where I'm gonna make it up.
To answer your first question, I don't think Bigfoot is real. No, I think not because I think we would have found him already or something like that. It seemed like it's just one of those animals that there was a Gigantopithecus or whatever. It went extinct. You know, it's just not around anymore. And I think that
it's just
is there a chance that there's some kind of ape-like creature living in Montana? Possibly. You know, maybe.
If
But
there
I
is
don't-
something like that, I don't think it's anywhere in the North America. I mean, unless it's like way up in some cold fucking place in Canada, North America's pretty well mapped, dude. People have been everywhere around here.
Yeah, but that being said, there are stretches of like I was saying, Montana and some of those other areas where Wyoming, where there's just nothing. There's nothing out there.
Yeah, there's nothing, but there's actually roads out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's parts of like certain parts of the world where there's never been a road made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people literally
Yep.
haven't been there.
Yeah, I mean, there's stretches of Canada like that. It's just too cold. They can't build
Yeah.
anything out there. It's just too much snow. So yeah, maybe it's possible that there's some kind of ape or something, just not what people consider Bigfoot. You know, like this intelligent, hairy, fucking 8-foot mammal.
Yeah, is he intelligent or isn't he?
I don't know.
Is he
Who
like
fucking
half
knows?
intelligent?
I
He
think
like
that
can
people.
evade everybody, but
That's what I was gonna say. I think people have thought if he existed, he'd have to be some kind of intelligent to not be able to be detected for so long. But I don't know. It seems far fetched to me.
Yeah.
As far as aliens, as far as supernatural stuff ever occurring for me, I don't think I've ever even had like any like ghost stuff or any. I think someone asked us this
I
already.
get deja
actually,
vu
too.
all the time, or like I dream shit a lot and then it happens. That's always fucking weird.
Yeah,
I mean, that's happened quite a few times.
yeah. I was gonna
And
say I think I've had like psychic, like how do you explain it, like people make a prediction or something. Like I feel like I can, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it.
I got one.
I'm not psychic, but
I mean, I don't want to call it supernatural, but it felt supernatural. So I went to this music festival, right? And it's kind of like it's, you know, you could bring your family to it. It's not a bad one. It's not a bunch of, you know, it's a older crowd. Anyways, end up taking acid, right?
Mhm.
Take acid with my sister. And it's like
Oh,
her
boy.
first time taking it. And this was like, you know, for me, this was the hardest ever. Dude, taking it a bunch of times and it was just like to the wall, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, this is her first time. She's gonna be fucked. So she takes it, and we're watching this show go on or whatever. And I swear to God, me and her were communicating telepathically, and it was fucking weird, dude. For like a solid hour. And we don't like to really bring it up or even talk about it just because like, we know what happened. Like, it just sounds fucking crazy, but it was like, it was fucked up.
It's funny how you started this by saying I've never had anything supernatural happen to me.
Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But
That's
well, because you
interesting.
know, the acid disqualifies it. Well,
yeah,
maybe it qualifies it.
exactly. Yeah,
'Cause if
maybe.
I said I didn't take acid, then it'd be really weird.
Yeah. There'd be a different conversation. It'd be
So, This brings me into then I watched that Phenomenon documentary, and I'm like,
oh, save
well,
that. We're gonna have a whole discussion about that.
Yo, give me
Um,
1 second. I gotta plug my laptop in.
Heard that. All right, and we're back. So this made me think of something interesting that I wanted to share. Me and Malcolm both experienced together. It's not really supernatural, but it was something fucking insane that happened. So about 7-8 years ago, me and Malcolm got a job up in Kentucky, and we were living here in Florida, and we drove from Florida to Kentucky, right? We're driving through, and we get through Georgia, and we're coming up through Kentucky or Tennessee, and there's this area in Tennessee where we're going through the mountains, right? And I'm driving, Malcolm's asleep in the passenger seat. It's about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and this area in this mountain, it says no Jake brake, no braking going down the hill, right? We're coming down the hill, and we're, coming down, and I see something in the distance, and it's like some weird lights, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm getting closer and closer, and I notice it's just a burning ball. So I wake Malcolm up like, yo, what the fuck? Am I lying? Does this not happen?
I still have the video.
Yeah. So I wake him up, and there's just a car blazing on fire in the middle of the road, and someone obviously hit the brake going down and just tumbled, and they were instantly dead. There's no way anyone could have survived this. But the other thing is we couldn't stop to help because it's at the bottom of the hill. So if like we stop and it's pitch black, if someone doesn't see us, they're gonna hit us. You know what I mean?
Somebody
so
was
like,
outside the car too, like watching it. I was like, is somebody in there just
Yeah.
roasting?
It's gotta be. Yeah. So that was pretty intense to see. And just the fact that we were like kind of helpless, like we couldn't get out. There's no cell service. So it's like now we call anybody. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. And if we stop, then someone's gonna hit us and kill us. So we just kept on driving, and then hope there's people on the other side of the road that were pulling over and stuff. So
I'm
hopefully-
sure it was fine.
Just a little flesh wound, He walked it off. All right, but that's all for the emails. Thank you guys for emailing us again. If you want to email us next week, it's podcastscam@gmail.com. Tell us what is your request this week, Malcolm? What do you want from the listeners?
I don't know. I guess we haven't heard anything from our Indian listeners. Who knows? Maybe it's a troll farm. Well, what's going on in the troll farm if you are actually listening? Or maybe you're not. I don't know.
We're still looking for some insight from our Indian audience because we do get a lot of downloads from India. Let us know how things are going out there and over there in India. Let us know what the climate's like. What's going on with COVID? What's going on with everything else?
Actually, speaking of India, they're going through a national strike right now. They're not doing it on the mainstream media because they wouldn't want anybody here getting any ideas. But 250 million people stopped working all on the same day.
Oh wow. What was the reasoning? Pay increase?
National strike, dude. They're just like, we're not getting paid. You know what the crazy thing is? These fucking people in India, they want to work more. They want guaranteed like overtime, guaranteed 40 hours and shit like that. And the whole, 250 million people out of a billion.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's like our whole country, dude. We could never get that many people together. We're so pathetic.
I know. Well, a billion people, that doesn't, as far as their workforce, that's probably all the people that are working. Workforce. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Do you see some of the pictures and videos of, if you're on YouTube, you should really follow RT. I know people, Russian television, it's funded by the fucking Russian government. Yeah, so is BBC. That's the the British government.
Yeah.
Anyways, follow them. You get a good scope of the world because they put stuff on there that they don't put on the mainstream media.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I think that.
So what's going on with that?
Yeah, India. Tell us
about that, dude. What
since
is going on there?
Since you're out of work, tell us what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hop into the main topic of discussion that me and Malcolm wanted to talk about for this episode. And let's start off with this. So this was a thought we were both having. Was Hitler misunderstood? No, I'm just kidding. That's not. No, that's not.
Like, I don't remember that at all. Oh, I guess you kind of did.
He wasn't that bad of a guy, No, I'm just kidding. No. So last week, Joe Rogan, his guest was James Fox and what's the other guy's name? Jacques Vallée. And they're promoting a documentary called The Phenomenon, which is about UFOs and alien encounters that you can find. I don't know what streaming service it's on currently, but you can rent it right now on YouTube for $3.99.
Probably one of the best ones I've seen.
Yeah, definitely a very complete.
Better than that Stephen
Greer.
Yeah.
Better than his. It isn't like a biased like this is what you should believe. It's just like here's the accounts, here's what people say happened, And obviously this guy leans a little bit towards it being true, but that's because the information he gives is kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it's compelling.
So we won't spoil too much from the movie, but so that movie comes out. But the day before that, there was some news that broke with, I don't know if it was the New York Post. No, it was the Debrief. The Debrief Post published a story about some fighter pilots that saw a pyramid, cube, diamond, triangle-shaped UFO, something. Unclear what shape it was.
Not only that, I was thinking about this. This dude took that with his cell phone.
That's what I was going to say. So he took a picture with his cell phone from a jet.
And I can't text and drive? This guy's Mach 3 with his cell phone out, dude. Although he's probably the guy in the back, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So he took a picture of this unidentified aerial phenomenon, and the information started coming out that the picture was available and floating around. And then Malcolm, we saw the picture. Let me see if I can pull it up. So the picture. Describe the picture. What did you see from the picture?
To me, they say it's cube-like, but it looks triangular to me. But like maybe like a 3D triangle type thing. Mm-hmm. And it looks metal, and they're saying it came from underneath the water, and it was just kind of transversing through water and air effortlessly, because if you have antimatter, anti-gravity, that shit doesn't matter. So it's very interesting. I would say the shit that happened yesterday is even more interesting.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about that while I look for this picture.
So the Israeli space commander, who was the space commander for 30 years for Israel, just came out and said, and he was like, yeah, there's aliens. We know about them. They think humanity's not ready for it. They said that Trump almost slipped up and told everybody about the Galactic Federation and shit like this. Having that said, while I was reading this, and I read a couple of the American articles, and then I read like the Jerusalem Post, and I was like, God, please, I hope this guy's not selling a fucking book.
Yeah.
And then like in the Jerusalem Post, it's like, he is promoting a book. I'm like, motherfucker, dude.
Well, also, he also said some wild shit about like, there's American astronauts on Mars.
Yeah, there's
aliens
an
have
underground
a
Martian
base on Mars.
I mean,
so some of that might be a little far fetched, but so let's look at these pictures. This picture real quick, and you can draw whatever conclusions you want. But so you can't really see much from here, but this is the pilot. He's clearly in the cockpit here.
They said that thing was floating. It wasn't actually moving.
You can kind of see it in the very middle here. It's very small, but this is an enhanced version of it. So you can't really tell what shape it is.
Enhance.
But it's definitely not like anything we have the capability to make.
It's something else.
So I'm not really sure.
The Tic Tac to me is way more intriguing.
Of course. Yeah. But anyway, so that was the picture. So what was interesting to me is that in that documentary, The Phenomenon, they talk about like there's all these different accounts that these information where they've taken and they just haven't released it. And one of the guys, which was the Senate Majority Leader, I forget his name, Harry Reid,
he's been all over this shit for years.
Yeah, and he was in office up until 2015. He was Obama's right hand man for a lot of his term. He was funding and pushing to get funding to look into this stuff. He's in the documentary and he talks about how there's more stuff that hasn't been made public than there is that has. But what's also kind of weird about all this is the reason we're able to get all this information now is because the people that were capturing it weren't doing classified missions. Like David Fravor, the guy who was in the Nimitz, who was on the Nimitz, who he actually wasn't the one that recorded it, but he followed the Tic Tac UFO or whatever, and then the guy who went out after him recorded it. They're not running classified missions. They're just normal pilots in the Air Force that were out doing other stuff and then happened upon these, unidentified aerial phenomena. So their information doesn't go to this secret classified place. It's all on the military intranet, which is a public space. Mm-hmm. So if you know where to look, it's possible to pull this information and find this stuff. So part of what has thrown all this off for a while is if you go to that thing and you type in UFOs, nothing's going to pop up because they don't call them UFOs. They call them UAPs or I forget what there's a couple other ones they use.
Well, now they have the unidentified submersible phenomenon.
Yeah.
USP.
Yeah.
Even deliver your mail. No.
Well, what's also like back to David Fravor, the reason they went out eventually is because they saw this huge mass underwater. And when he went out there, because he went out there looking like, what the hell is that? And as they got closer, they saw like this drone, looked like a beacon just flying all over the place. So anyways, if you watch this documentary, The Phenomenon, I think the most either convincing or most, eyebrow raising thing in the entire thing is at the very end, there's these children. They went to the school in Zimbabwe.
I didn't know how I'd never heard of this story. All the UFO shit I've looked for. How have I never heard of this?
So these children in Zimbabwe, they're out playing one day, like recess, and this ship comes down and just lands.
This was in 94, by the way.
Yeah, just lands out in this field, and they go out there and they see this alien come out of the ship, and they stand in there, and they said they communicated with him telepathically or something weird. So a bunch of these kids saw it. So then like a week later, the BBC comes and is interviewing them, and they're giving this account of their story, and none of them are saying anything crazy. They're all saying the same story. And it's like, how could you convince like 40 kids to make this up?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's no way. And some of the shit like they were saying about the environment and shit was just like, a kid can't even comprehend that.
Yeah.
At that age.
They were saying that like one of the things that they interviewed one of the children, they have the video of the interview when they were kids, is she says that she felt like the technology was ruining the planet and we needed to be careful because we were going to ruin the planet. This is in '94 before people were. This wasn't even a
before
big
technology's
issue.
even that crazy.
Exactly. Like this wasn't a huge like social issue back then, like it is now.
I just can't help with the irony though. It's like, come down on your spaceship and tell me how to live my life.
Yeah. We were talking last night too. Like,
think you are?
What if aliens are real, but they're just really fucking stupid? Like they have the technology, you know, because it's like very easy to get at their planet. And they get here, they're just eating rocks and shit, and they have like no manners. You know, it's just like, what is going on?
There's just some cave that just pops out those spaceships. Like, I don't know, they're just fucking there, dude. We just know how to drive it.
Yeah, exactly. It was there when we got there, you know. So
they kept talking about their eyes, though. That shit was a crazy part.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So that's the thing. All of these kids had the same account. So then after that, they showed these videos from the '90s. They went. This guy James Fox went and interviewed them now. So they go to Zimbabwe. They got all these people to come together, and I think the most convincing of all of it was this one guy says, he's like, how does it feel being back here? And he's like, I just feel afraid because I just remember what I felt like as a kid, being terrified because I didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know. And then all these the people that were there, that were interviewed, they're just, you know, they're adamant, like, no, this is what happened. Like, I didn't imagine it.
So I don't think that dude locked eyes with him. All the ones that said they locked eyes, they knew like it was scary, but it wasn't. They knew they didn't mean harm.
Yeah, like they could feel safe or whatever.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
There's a few other like tidbits.
Oh,
that were interesting.
By the way, I started listening to this book last night. This is what I went to sleep to. Project Serpo. You heard of that? That's the exchange program.
Oh,
where they said that 12 people got exchanged and went to some interplanetary system or whatever, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Tell you what, dog, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting shit, dog. Because I guess it was all these anonymous posts on this military forum, dude. And they're like, yo, we're involved with this right now. They've okayed it. And that Serpo shit is this something else, dog. I thought it was gonna be like bonkers off the wall, but it's not. It's not at all.
That makes it worse. Yeah, that's more scary. It's like, oh, this is very possible. So what's interesting about that kind of stuff is like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's what happens. They come down and they have all these people. They took like Amelia Earhart and all these different people start coming out of the ship. They're just like, yeah, we've been with these aliens for a while. You know, we're just chilling. I
was thinking that like maybe the people that just get in the Bermuda Triangle have just been abducted by aliens.
Yeah, it's possible.
So they can't find any of them.
What about all those missing 411s? Those kids that get lost out in the state parks.
It's Hillary Clinton, dog.
Maybe Hillary Clinton is an alien.
Yeah, right.
That's where we're going with this all along.
She's the fucking Demogorg or whatever.
So some other interesting stuff from the documentary. There's a few different times where these whatever they are appeared over nuclear tests.
Grays, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But they appeared over like these nuclear test facilities where they literally like locked the nukes. Like you couldn't Harry Reid said, like if we wanted to nuke someone, the president gave the okay, we couldn't do it, even if we wanted to, we didn't have the capability.
There was a time where they locked him and activated him.
Yeah. Yeah. There was in the Joe Rogan interview, they talk about that one guy, I think it was in New Jersey, like literally is the only reason the world's still here today, because they had like something happened where they got a signal that nukes were in the air from the Soviet Union, and they got the okay to strike back, and he stepped outside and like took a deep breath and was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this isn't a training exercise. Something's wrong. And it was because something was wrong with their radar, and they attributed that to some kind of UFOs. But he literally was like, I'm not pressing the button because there's something wrong. So
I want to live.
Yeah.
Selfish motherfucker, dude.
Yeah. So this is a question. So you can go and watch The Phenomenon. You can watch the interview with Jacques Vallée and James Fox on Joe Rogan. There's a ton of other information out there. It seems like more information is coming out every day with this stuff. So my question to you, Malcolm.
You can bet on it.
Yeah. That was the other thing. Bovada and OddsShark released odds for if by December 31st, 2021, if they would have announced that advanced extraterrestrial life was in contact with the Earth. So I think yes was or no was still the favorite by a wide margin, but you could bet yes.
Plus 1,400, but that's not crazy. I've seen
No, it's not
crazier
crazy.
boxing matches that were fucking
Yeah.
higher than that.
Speaking of boxing matches, we'll get into that in a second. But before we move on to the next thing, so what do you think? Do you think that we've been in direct contact?
I'm all
not
in,
seen.
baby. I'm all in. They're here. There's a base somewhere. We're communicating.
Yeah.
These fucking scumbags in the government are keeping it from us because they think, they've been releasing this shit left and right, and nobody gives a fuck. Them motherfuckers could land in the middle of this field on this football game, and nobody would give a fuck.
Yeah, I think
like Trump's still saying he's gonna stay in office.
See, I think that I think it's unfair to say that we're not ready for that information. Like they should. Here's what because I feel like the people in the know don't know what it is. So it's like here's the information, and I think somebody has a good outlook on it is Lex Friedman, who thinks like, look, this would be inspiring. Like, show us the crash ship or whatever, and like look, there's a challenge. Can we back engineer this? How do we create this? How is this? Does this work? Like, get all the best minds in the world to focus on this, and it would unite people. It really would.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you on the people part. See, I think the government is projecting. I don't think they're ready for it.
Yeah, 100%.
They are military. They have a job to do. They want to keep that job. And then it's like, all right, well, now aliens exist. Now we got to work and figure something out with all this shit. It's like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're scared of it. I don't think the people are.
There's also like, and there's, we've talked about this before. Sometimes there are good, legitimate reasons why you would keep these things secret. So like one of them would be like, if they are hostile or we have signs that they're hostile, like let's say they sent a signal like, hey, we're going to be there in 40 years and you guys need to submit or we're just going to wipe you guys out. You know what I mean? Like that'd be something you probably want to keep in your pocket. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Because people would freak out if they're like, yeah, we can't protect you. Doesn't matter. It's all over. The show's over, guys.
That's another thing. The dude said, the Israeli guy, he said that they want to work with us because they are trying to understand like the fabric of the universe as well. And they want our help. So, but you can get so deep into this, dude. There's like seven different races, and one is evil, and six of them aren't. It's so fucking crazy.
There's a lot of weird stuff. There's a lot of. Did you ever find that stuff I was telling you about the Thor guy?
No, I gotta start looking at the.
I think he's from Venus.
Oh yeah.
Let me find this. God damn it. Yeah, from what I remember, it's like he came down. So there's this proposed story. All right, I typed in Thor AL, and what popped up was Thor alien from Venus. So, Valiant Thor, the extraterrestrial who lived at the White House.
Oh, he lived at the White House.
Yeah, so this story is this website is called Era of Light, Awaken a New World. Okay.
Jesus.
You can donate if you'd like, but this is what they said. This story is a documented case in the late 1950s of the U.S. government and alien interaction where a man and a few companions claiming to be from the planet Venus, the interior of the planet, came here to help humanity grow spiritually. He said that there were at least 70 other aliens from Venus living here on the Earth at the time. The book Stranger at the Pentagon. The book Stranger at the Pentagon tells us a very peculiar story about an extraterrestrial on a mission. His name is Valiant Thor, and many believe that he was real. March 16th, 1957, Valiant Thor arrived in a ship, which landed in Alexandria, Virginia, in an agricultural field. According to Dr. Strange, he was about 6 feet tall and 185 pounds with brown and wavy hair. The police were the first on the scene and found him calm with only one request: to meet the president. They took him to President Eisenhower, where he met with the Secretary of Defense, Nixon, and all the Joint Chiefs. Valiant Thor remained in the United States for 3 years. According to the book, he had been sent to Earth by the High Council to intervene on behalf of the intergalactic community. They were worried with our nuclear capabilities and how unclear our warfare would lead to the obliteration of the human race. Okay. So
yeah, it seems like a lot of this shit was like after that atomic bomb got dropped. It was like,
yeah,
whoa, 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 whoa.
What are you guys doing over there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So also like a couple interesting things with that too. So first off, if we dropped a nuke, when we dropped the nuke in, what was it, 44. So we dropped the nuke. it takes the closest like habitable planet that they know is like I think it's 12 light year or 12 light years, and there's another system like 36 light years away. So it would take a little time for them to see that we did that. You know what I mean? So maybe it's been enough time. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's been enough time now, 80 years now, that light is hitting them and they're seeing like, people 80 light years away are like, oh, those people drop nukes over there. You know what I mean? There's something over there. But a couple interesting things. We'll go over this and we'll move on to the next thing. If they were hostile, if these aliens were hostile or whatever, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why they would be. There's so much. If they like, for one of the proposed things would be like they would come here for resources. There's tons of water and gas and things that are found on Earth is very common throughout the universe. So they could find it pretty much anywhere. So coming here doesn't make a lot of sense.
Asteroids are like filled with gold and shit.
Yeah. So I don't know what they would, unless they need like literal slaves, which I also, if they're that advanced, they could probably build the technology to have that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The only thing I could see where it'd be something to fear would be if it was like an artificial intelligence, like, and it's like, where are the biological people? You know what I mean? Like, why are you only robots? You know what I mean? Maybe they wiped out all the humanity. You know what I mean? So
I think that's what that book was talking about. Like one of them was AI, and it's like they just can't recognize emotion.
Yeah.
So like, it seems like they're mean, but they really just can't tell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So there's a lot of speculation on, what could be possible, and it seems like as every day goes by, things are getting weirder. And that's what's interesting about that guy's email.
I'm an alien. I'm
an. Well, that's what's interesting about that guy's email about Bigfoot. He's right. You can't really rule anything out at this point, dude. Who knows? Fucking yeah, sure. Bigfoot's real.
Yeah.
Who cares?
What are you crazy? So you're talking about fucking aliens.
All right. So on to the next thing. If you thought that was going to be the weirdest story you heard on this podcast today, you were mistaken, because the weirdest story I heard this week is something that is now official. Logan Paul is going to fight Floyd Mayweather on, was it February 20th?
Yeah, February 20th,
an exhibition boxing match, which I'm not sure.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. Now, the other thing is, you got to keep in mind, this isn't Jake Paul. This is Logan Paul, who lost to another YouTuber, KSI, I believe his name was. So I don't think he's as good of a boxer as Jake Paul, but he does have a big size advantage on Floyd Mayweather.
Huge size advantage.
I don't think that's going to matter, though. I'm not sure that's going to matter.
But I was looking at both of them hit the heavy bag, and the power looks the same.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. And also, there's a difference between getting hit by a guy that's big and getting hit by a guy that knows how to punch. You know what I mean? So, and also, Logan Paul is going to be too slow to even catch Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? Like, look, Mayweather's going to be just moving in.
And the reach isn't crazy. I mean, it's 4-inch reach, so 2 on each arm. That's really not that bad.
No, it's not. Now,
especially seeing there's a 6-inch height advantage.
Now, again, in any kind of fighting, boxing, MMA, I think they made a good point, the broadcasters, with the Jake Paul and Nate Robinson thing. You don't play boxing. You know what I mean? Like, at any time, someone can land a punch and knock someone out. I think the odds of that happening for Logan Paul to knock out Floyd Mayweather, I don't think you can even put odds on that. I think it's just so low. I think Mayweather walks through him, maybe plays with him for a round, and then knocks him out.
I think he knocks him out too.
Yeah,
because I was on the fence at first, and then I started watching all these like big height disparity boxing matches. And the common thing is the tall dude is at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
because he's punching down, he doesn't know where to hit him, he can't get low enough. And the common thing with all of them, dude, is the shorter guy could throw these haymaker overhand rights and lefts.
Yeah,
and they land and they go down.
Well, that's the other thing. And as soon as they start ducking under those, you get caught with an uppercut, and that's the end of your night. You know, so we'll see. We'll see if that fight actually, like I was telling you, as soon as
these Logan dudes need to. I mean, I'm just happy they're facing a real boxer, dude.
Yeah, and I said as soon as you sent that to me, and I said I'll believe it when they're in the cage, they're in the ring. You know what I mean? And they ring the bell, because until then, I just don't feel like that Logan Paul.
Because Floyd's still gonna have him testing, making sure he's not doping and shit. Like,
which he probably is. I don't even think that Floyd Mayweather don't care.
I don't think Floyd dopes.
No. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think Floyd will care. I don't think
I
he'll care.
do.
Like, whatever,
I think he'll
fuck it.
still make him. He's like, no, you're gonna fight me clean, brah.
Yeah, I think of all the speculation and stuff, there's a few guys that I would be very surprised if they were on steroids, and Floyd Mayweather's one of them. He just doesn't have that crazy chiseled body, you know.
His
He just
work
has,
ethic is just
and it's insane.
crazy.
Yeah, and that's also what what's interesting about guys like Conor McGregor. If you notice, he's moved up. He's always moved up in weight, but he hasn't like blown up. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of like gradually put the weight on. So I don't think he would be another guy. I don't think he would be on steroids, but who knows? I mean, I didn't think fucking Lance Armstrong was on steroids, but you know, so
This guy's getting blood transfusion.
yeah.
Jesus
He's having guys
Christ.
pissing bags for him to take his tests. All right. On to the next. I think I had.
Oh, I think Holyfield and Tyson agreed too.
I saw something about that. I think that's in the works.
I don't
That's
think
in the
that's a good fight
works.
for Tyson. I think he should get 2 more before he.
I don't think he should fight Holyfield. I think he should just fight Jones again, or fight Logan Paul. Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Logan Paul don't want nothing to do with that, bro. Mike, he literally might kill that dude.
So NBA season is about to kick off here in a few weeks. Early indication. Who do you
No
like this
bubble?
year? No bubble. Bubble free.
No bubble.
The Toronto Raptors are playing in Tampa. Tampa Raptors.
Who did the Celtics pick up? Teague and right? They picked up Jeff Teague?
Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson and got rid of Hayward's out,
Gordon
right?
Hayward. Hayward went to Charlotte. Yep.
I mean,
Westbrook.
obviously LeBron and fucking
AD.
AD are the favorites
Yeah.
for sure.
And then you got Kyrie and Durant back in Brooklyn.
Not sold on that. They're going to need a year to get it together. Durant's going to need just a year to come off the injury.
Yeah. I mean, he had a year. This is year 2 of the injury recovery. Steve Nash, the new coach there. That should be interesting.
$100, all COVID positive tests disappear during the playoffs.
That's already going to happen with the NFL.
Oh yeah,
Um,
nobody's tested positive.
So another one of the moves, Russell Westbrook traded from Houston to Washington for John Wall. That was a big one. There's a couple other big moves I just can't on
Why
top of my
would
head.
you- That's-
The Wizards are trying to cut a little salary, and the Rockets are just blowing it all up. You know, you heard about this whole thing happening with James Harden right now, right? He's just MIA. Not in it. He's not in Miami. He might be in Miami, but he's MIA. He's missing in action. He posted a picture with Meek Mill on some jet skis earlier. He didn't report to training camp. There's a video of him in a strip club the night before the beginning of training camp, and then just didn't show up. So
It's COVID, baby. Didn't show up because of COVID.
yeah, it's because of
I
COVID.
bet you could opt out for the year.
You should. Fuck it. Why not? I guess probably because he's getting like $45 million this year. That's probably why not. But I don't know.
He should come to the Celtics. It'd be a good pick for him.
There's some rumors floating around that he's trying to get traded to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons. So it'd be him, Embiid, Doc Rivers. Be a nice little setup there.
Harden's one of those tough ones, man. It's like he's great individually, but I don't know.
But he's never really had
'Cause
like
he
he's had some good teams, but he's never really had like I think the best team they had was him and Chris Paul. Because they had like someone to just give him the ball. You know what I mean? Like Westbrook and him was never going to work. That was doomed from the beginning. Like those are two guys that need the ball in their hands. You can't have that. So,
But it's always when the playoffs come around and all the defense tightens up and shit gets real, and it's like you got to make other people better. He just not there.
He's not that kind of player. He's a
No.
scorer. He's a guy that's going to score. He's going to get to the hole.
He
He's gonna
needs
draw
a Dwayne Wade.
fouls. He does. He needs like a second, and he had that for a little bit with Eric Gordon and Chris Paul, but I don't
Chris
know.
Paul hasn't got it done all the way. You need somebody that's won a ring.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somebody who knows how to get it done.
Or he just needs to go join somebody. Go join a super team and just be that other guy.
Yeah, that's
go
what
to
I'm
the
saying.
go to
Like-
the
like him and a Steph Curry would be perfect.
yeah. Slide into fucking Golden State.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Fuck it. Why not?
And those two, Clay and Steph, can handle a big personality. They did it with Durant, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not selfish and they know it's a team game. And
That
you
would
can
be
shoot all
nuts.
your shit and we'll come and make sure we win.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
Sucks for Clay though, man. He missed all of last year and then he tears his ACL. Looked like he was just shooting in the gym, or his Achilles, tore his Achilles. So he's out for the year too.
Jesus Christ.
Anything else before we get out of here? Any final thoughts?
I got nothing.
Yeah. Ready for Christmas?
The end of this. The end of the election is approaching.
Yeah, finally.
Almost over.
What is that, next
6
week, right?
days. 6
Yep.
days. Apparently, the Supreme Court's going to rule tomorrow whether to throw out the Pennsylvania vote.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's the true end, because if that doesn't happen, none of the other shit happens.
Have you seen all the stuff going on with the stimulus package, and they still can't fucking agree on?
Oh, that Nancy Pelosi, she's such a scumbag.
First,
it wasn't big enough, and now it's okay, whatever.
Well, her reasoning for that, the flip flop makes sense, because she said she wouldn't agree to a smaller package because if Trump would have won, she didn't know if she would ever get an opportunity to get another one. With Biden winning, she's like, okay, we can agree to something small, and then now that we have control of the White House, maybe we'll have another shot at a second package in the future. So I get that part of it.
There ain't shit that's gonna happen after Biden gets president.
But what
fucking tea? Because they're just gonna go, well, the Republicans are gonna block it, so there's no point.
No, I think that because of the vaccine coming, I think will be the reasoning for that. There's also this huge issue right now where they have all these people that are unemployed all around the country, and all the benefits are set to expire on December 31st, right? So it's in the benefit of the Republicans to drag their feet now. So it's literally flipped, because it's like, well, let's make it look bad on fucking Biden's watch. Why do we make it look bad while we have a Republican president in the White House? So it makes no sense for them to make it a deal done before the 31st. So it's just so bizarre.
Telling my dad about all these aliens and shit like that. He's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'll believe it when they fucking come down. And I said, and then he starts talking about the stimulus package. I go, I feel about the stimulus package how you feel about it. But...
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah,
exactly. I think they both have the same probability. So
it's also wild to me with the stimulus package thing that they just see no sense of urgency, and literally all the economic.
These people are so far removed from a normal person. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. But all these economic fucking people around the country are like, look, it's all about to come crashing down, dude. You got to do something. Like, we don't want to borrow any money. It's like, it's past that. You have to borrow money. Like, we have no choice. Like, it's all about to come crashing down. So
if they were like, yo, look, we need this stimulus and we'll let you go to war with Iran. You'd be like, okay.
Deal.
Yeah, it's fucking deal.
All right, let's get on up out of here. We'll be back later in this week for NFL picks. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Scam_podcast. You can follow us on Twitch, Scam_podcast. Email us podcastgame@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's 2 words, Scam Podcast, if you're listening to audio only. And if you're listening to audio only, it's your first time listening and you're into some alien stuff, subscribe to our channel on there too. Thank you for everybody for downloading, liking, loving, sharing, subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you hate. Just tell somebody about the show. We really do appreciate it. And we'll be back later this week. Anything else, Malcolm, before we get out of here?
I got nothing.
All right. See you.